All right, everybody, welcome back to the Move podcast, presented to you by Patron Tequila each and every day. Sitting alongside my co-host, JB Hager. And over to my left...
Oh, boy.
...is the juke to my jive. The freak to my flow. The doctor to my pepper.
Oh.
The Tarzan to my Jane. George Hincapie.
Hello, everyone.
Talking about stage 19 from...
Lourdes to La Reims.
You got it?
No, do it again.
Lourdes to La Reims.
Lourdes to La Reims. Have you ever been to Lourdes, JB?
No, I haven't.
It's a... George has obviously been there a lot. It's a strange place.
Yeah, how so?
They've got all these... allegedly like these miracle springs. All these people go
Very
to
Search of the
field, and you can buy. I mean, there's more trinket bullshit shops than anywhere in the world. You can buy the water like in these little bottles and take it around, and then
It's supposed to be like, a Fountain of Youth type vibe,
or
right?
no, just it's pretty sad. I mean, it's
Or a blessed place or something like that. Where
little known fact, maybe a lot of known fact, is Madonna's daughter is named Lord. How about that?
wow,
Yeah. Anyways,
we don't know our countries, but we know Madonna's daughter's
we
name.
can't pronounce anything. We don't know which like places in other countries are actually countries.
Hey, it's not just us. We got an email this morning, or maybe last night, from a Welshman who said he came to the U.S. and everybody thought Wales was a city.
Yeah,
It's not just us.
Yeah, no, it's not just us. Hey, before we start talking about the stage and we name our patron and we call Johan and maybe get Bob Roll on the phone, I just got to tell you, I'm ready to get this shit over with. This is exhausting. Okay, I'm getting tired of getting up early and starting my bike ride late. But to make things worse, I get roped in last night to this. I'm sure every town has like their own version of the Dancing with the Stars. Mm-hmm. They have it here in Aspen. And I went 2 years ago, and I said, fuck that, I'm never going again. This is the worst. And I get roped in again, I have to go, at the St. Regis, this swanky hotel, so I'm walking
Who's
up.
in it that you know?
Well, the only reason we went was I went 2 years ago when our buddy the sheriff competed. I don't know why he would, but he did, and he won. So this year, they had like a best of. So he had to dance, and Michael Goldberg's wife, Ramona, had to dance, and so that's why we went. And, anyways, it's at the St. Regis, super fancy. So we're walking up to the front door, and there's all the bellmen there, and there's like a greeter lady. And she says, and I'm walking up, she says, "Welcome, Mr. Hincapie." I said, this has got to stop. This has to stop. I am the star of this show. This is my town. And I just looked at her, and I was like, no, you got the wrong guy. That's the good-looking one. And I got around the corner. I looked back, and these young bell guys, were just destroying this poor girl. Like, you are such an idiot.
You might have just made my day, Lance. But correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't you courted to do Dances with the Stars at one point?
We get
Is that a rumor?
The
the
big
main
one.
Yeah,
the
big one.
Haven't they reached
I
out
think we
every
should.
year?
I think all the listeners should write in and lobby for Lance to do Dancing with the Stars. I would pay
you don't need
big
to
money
lobby.
for this.
They call every year.
No, we need to convince you to do it.
Right.
Why don't you do it?
Here's my mom. My mom calls. She's like, I have a great idea. I think you should do Dancing with the Stars. Everybody will like you again. I'm like, Mom, I love you. I got to go. Like, that is the dumbest idea ever.
Oh, so let's start the campaign.
Yeah, let's start a campaign.
Ain't happening.
Why not?
No, stop. Let's talk about stage.
Everyone talks
talk
about
about
how,
the race.
How about everybody talks about how in shape they get doing Dancing with the Stars?
Ain't happening.
Different kind of suffering.
Let's talk about Let's talk about bike racing. I'm just going to start off and talk about Primož Roglič. He's my patron of the day. The way he went. Why is the Aspen police driving by very slow? Very slow. And not stopping. Okay, we're good. I guess we showed his ski crash from the other day. Another fact that we read today about Primož Roglič is that he didn't start cycling at all until 2012. That's an amazing stat.
Yeah, incredible.
Because you kind of think you have to have I mean, years and years in your legs to be able to do this at this level. How is that even possible?
That's always been the thought. But
not only the effort of doing that, but just the handling of a bike in those situations. And he is obviously one of the best.
Wow.
I don't know how fast they go downhill when they do the ski jumping. I'm assuming it's pretty fast, but if you saw him go downhill today on the backside of the Obisque and win the stage, put time into all of his rivals, including Chris Froome and Tom Dumoulin, and get the time bonus, maybe that's easy compared to the ski jumping. I know I wouldn't ever do that. And while we got it though, we should get Johan on the phone because he has a prediction about the final GC, which actually surprised me. I'm not sure that I agree with him, but one little bit of business before we get Johan on the phone, and just to go back to it, Primoz Roglic is my patron of the day. George?
Definitely my patron of the day as well,
Yeah.
but not only Primoz, the whole team, Lotto, Jumbo, and Nell. I mean, they had 4 guys in that group of 15. Gessing did an incredible job on the bottom slopes of the Tourmalet. Closed down the gap to Landa. Just that whole team has won 3 stages of the Tour de France. Going to get podium in the Tour, most likely, maybe even second. Incredible. We all talk about Sky, how dominant they are, but you really can't count out what Lotto's done in this Tour de France.
Yeah. No. All right, before we get Johan, let's talk about cold brew, high brew coffee. Cold brewed for those who do, 6 different flavors, 2 cups of coffee per can. I'd like to all our listeners, it's crazy the amount of tweets and feedback we're getting from people that are like, I never even knew this was out there, and they went out and buy it, and they're loving it.
They're finding it in their stores, or they're ordering
killer.
online.
Our buddies in Austin. But you can go to Amazon. The buy code there is 20TheMove, all caps, The Move. Or you can go to Whole Foods or Walmart or anywhere. Cold brew for those who do.
You ready for Johan?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's give him a buzz.
George has a question.
Let George look at him.
George.
Or
George. Y'all, George's wife is French. Y'all already know that, but she doesn't say George. She says George.
What's up, Johan?
How you looking? I'm pretty handsome there, buddy.
So what did you? What were your thoughts on today?
I'm already live.
You're live. Yeah.
yes, you are live.
Good. Well, I mean, I think what I said before was, I think 2 days ago. No, I said that Thomas was going to win the Tour. So,
Yeah.
it was an interesting stage. Very, very. I mean, very exciting. Very exciting. I think we saw something that cycling needed. A guy like Roglic who has tried it, till the very end, and he was really impressive. He was impressive on the climb, drove it all the downhill. Really tried, and I think the way it's going, he's my pick. He's probably going to be on the second step on the podium.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah,
I think so, because he seems to be on the up. He's a great time trialist. I think he's a bit fresher. Plus, he's coming off this win of today, 16 seconds down, I think, on Dumoulin.
Yeah.
So you think
Who is the world champion?
you think he's going to leapfrog the world champion in the final time trial?
I think so. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I think so. In theory, Dumoulin is the better time trialist. Although Roglic is very strong. Don't forget, he was second in the World Championships. So we're actually, for the podium, we're having number 1, 2, and 3 of the World Championships time trial fighting against each other tomorrow.
Wait, Geraint Thomas got third?
No. For the podium, it's Dumoulin. Let's assume Geraint Thomas wins, right? That's not a fight anymore. But it's Dumoulin, Roglic, and Froome for places second and third, and they were 1, 2, and 3 in the World Championships time trial.
Yeah, and clearly Dumoulin was quite concerned with Roglic up the road. He did most of the work chasing him down on the last climb and on the descent, which I thought was a bit strange, but clearly he was fighting for second there.
Yeah, I mean, Dumoulin, obviously, he knows that, for him it's the best to ride his tempo.
Yep.
He is concerned about Roglic, yes, and I think there was nothing he could do. Let's not forget, in the last week, you always see that, and we know that very well. We always played with that tactically in the past. That it's not just the rider and the team who wants to win the Tour de France, who have to do the work. You get all kinds of different natural allies, I would say. Teams classification,
Yeah.
young riders jersey, and then the podium, and even up to places 7, 8, 9, the top 10 for certain teams is something unique. So I think today we saw the same. Most of the work was done by other teams than Team Sky, and they rode very, very smart. And Thomas rode very smart too. He was only worried about number 2, which is what he should do, and of course number 2 was worried about number 3 and number 4. So yeah, I think it was a very exciting stage. Very, very a lot of suspense until the very end. But at the end of the stage, I think the ranking of fitness and of freshness was respected. You can clearly see that Roglic is very strong in the last week.
Yeah, if there's a 4th week, he's going to win the Tour.
Yeah, well, we all know that there's no 4th week.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, Johan, I got a question because George and I disagree on this, and I said it yesterday, and I'm not trying to be hating on him, but I think this is the beginning of the end for Chris Froome. What do you think? You think he can come back and win another Tour? Not another Grand Tour, another Tour de France.
He can, but let's say we've definitely seen the strongest Froome 2-3 years ago. It's like you guys say also, it will depend now what will happen in Team Sky. Will Jaron stay there?
My source says that he has already he's signed a new contract just before the Tour, which for him would be really unfortunate. On TV today, they quoted Dave Brailsford as saying that the contract has not yet been signed, but that they've agreed to the terms and that he's staying with the team. And Chris Froome's contract is through 2020, so 2 more seasons, which would probably be the last 2 seasons.
Do you say that's unfortunate because he would have all the bargaining power?
Oh my
right
God!
Now to negotiate?
If he just said before the Tour says, "Nah, I'm gonna wait," you could double your money.
Yeah, you can double your money.
Double your money.
I think we're discounting the effort at the Giro for Froome. He rode an amazing Giro. It was 4 weeks before the start of the Tour de France, and historically, nobody who wins the Giro wins the Tour de France. Although Froome might have been the guy that can do it. I don't think we've seen the last of Chris Froome.
No, you said that yesterday.
We've seen the same. We've seen the same with Dumoulin. Dumoulin was going full out in the Giro, and there he is, in second place. So obviously, and it's true. There was a little bit more time to rest because of the World Cup football. The Tour started a week later, but still, it is quite impressive to be on the top for these 2 big tours. I personally think that we've seen the strongest Froome already 2-3 years ago. Yeah. He's not been on that level anymore. The power he showed and the dominance he showed, like for example on the Mont Ventoux, where he just rode away and made the others look like junior racers. Like Contador was trying to go with him full gas. He looked like a beginner.
Yeah.
Good. He's a wanker.
I've heard that yesterday. Yeah, somewhere.
He is.
Yeah. Well,
Clody has forgiven me. He has not forgiven Contador. He hasn't.
Well, I can understand him.
Can we turn this into a little bit of family therapy here?
Let's. But hey, here's a fact for you, Johan. This is, and you'll appreciate this.
I'm actually still mad at you guys for 2009 as well. Thanks for reminding me.
Don't start. Look, you're winning. You're winning every contest here, dude. Everybody likes you. You look good. Johan, did you hear the top of the show? I walked into this hotel last night, and the lady, the fancy hotel, the lady says to me, "Welcome, Mr. Hincapie." I said, "Isn't this some shit?" And but no, here the other day we were talking about salary caps and Team Sky with their $40 million budget, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, it's not like Walter Poels is making a bunch of money. A guy wrote in, I think it was a Dutch journalist, and told us exactly what Walter Poels' salary is. Take a guess at what they're paying him. And please don't get it right.
$600,000.
$1 million. He makes $1 million a year. Yeah, I was shocked. He's a great rider, but that's a lot of money.
But they're paying deep, is your point?
Yeah, that's my point is that they're paying a lot of guys a lot of money, and so that's why you get what you get here.
Well, do we know what Lotto Jumbo's budget is? I mean, they had 4 guys up there today as well for majority of the climbs.
What's their budget? Like 15 million?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's just impressive how good they're riding.
It's not going to be a lot more than that. Definitely not more than that.
No.
Although, I mean, they have Roglic who's coming up. He's going to be tripling or quadrupling his salary.
Mm-hmm.
The young kid, this young kid is really good there. Toluk. He's the son of a guy who I raced with.
Really?
His dad was a professional, I think, on Work Perfect I don't remember, one of the Dutch teams.
So he was the 4th guy in that group. We were trying to figure out who that was.
He looks like a teenager.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
They have two really good young guys there. This guy Tolhoek, and then the other guy is Boumans. He's actually the son of Eddie Boumans. I don't know if you remember him.
Yep.
Eddie Boumans, yeah. So this team, obviously, you can clearly see in the Tour de France teams who are on a roll, like Lotto Jumbo. Everything works out fine, and then other teams they try everything, and nothing works.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it always happens, and this, I think, obviously the positive mood is in the team Lotto Jumbo, and I mean, quite impressive actually to have 4 guys up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
But Roglic was I mean, he was impressive.
Very impressive.
The times he has tried on the last climb, and then is using his skiing skills, I guess, as a downhiller.
Yeah.
I think tomorrow he's taking second spot for over in the GC.
Okay. All right. Well.
Historically, it's the freshness in the last time trial, and it's a hard time trial. It's a lot of up and down.
Hey, how much time is Tom Dumoulin going to take out of Geraint Thomas then? Because this goes right into this thing I keep talking about with that flat tire and the penalty which cost him a minute 20. How much? Because he's 2:05 behind Geraint Thomas.
The first question is he going to take time out of Geraint Thomas?
Yes, he is.
Okay, well, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
I can't get anything right. All right, I quit.
If you see, for example, today Geraint Thomas was always on Dumoulin's wheel. He's done it in the past in the past few stages. Dumoulin has done a lot of work. Geraint Thomas is also a good time trialist. Let's not forget that. If Dumoulin takes time out of Geraint Thomas, he would have to be on a very good day, and I cannot see him taking more than 30, 40 seconds.
And we can talk about it in a second, but or we can talk later in the show about it after we sign off with you, but it's a super technical time trial. I don't know if you've seen the parkour, Johan, but it looks like the finale of Tour of Flanders, and so that would suit Geraint Thomas, who's technically really, really good in the corners and on the bike.
Yes.
Possibly Roglic too. He's very good technically.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in.
Thanks,
Okay.
Johan.
Have fun.
Thank you. People. Hey, Johan.
Yeah.
People. In all seriousness, people loved having you on, man. They miss you.
I love to be on too.
Well, you know what? You're gonna have to wait 49 more weeks.
Well, you can always. I mean, I've never forwarded you the email requests, but I've gotten a lot of emails saying that I should convince you to do one of those full podcasts with me. So hereby you are notified.
Okay, all right, that'll be a knockdown, drag out. All right, buddy.
All right,
thanks.
Have
See you
fun,
on.
guys.
Hey,
Bye.
love you.
Again,
Yes,
you got
again.
snubbed.
Hello, is he gone?
That's twice that
He
happened.
doesn't say I love you too.
That's got to sting.
I'm telling you, I'm quitting. I'm quit this shit. Wow. We can be done with these.
All right, we started getting into
talk about
tomorrow's.
Power Dot right quick. Yeah. Before
And
we get
I want to hear more from you guys about tomorrow. We just barely touched on it with Johan.
Last bit of business of the day. This show is also brought to you by Power Dot. I say it every day. I talk about it every day. I love this product. It's the most mobile eSTEM unit, most portable eSTEM unit out there. Runs on an app on your phone, Bluetooth enabled. All kinds of different settings. You can put it on all different parts of the body. Thanks to everybody that has listened and really supported these guys, because they're telling me they're just crushing the sales, and so that's awesome. Couple more days. So the good news for them is they only have to give away 3 more Power Dots, because they're giving away 1 a day. Go to powerdot.com/themove to win one. Sign up to win one, or if you want to buy one, 25% off to our listeners and viewers. powerdot.com/themove.
You've been talking to Bob Roll. Is he going to be able to sneak away from his obligations?
I don't know. He was going to try to call in. That would be cool. I don't know.
I can try dialing him.
Okay. Well, he called. He might be ready now. Let's try calling him.
Let's give it a shot.
This will be good.
This will be good, Bobke. But your phone thing often doesn't work, JB. Oh, that seems to.
Hello.
Bobke.
Okay.
Hey, how are you?
You got Lance and George and JB,
and we're mid show right now.
Hey guys.
Hey, and you're live.
How's everybody
so don't say
doing?
anything stupid.
All right, I'll try. Might be the wrong guy for that, but I'll try.
Bob, what'd you think about today? We're talking about how exciting today's stage was, and a lot more action happened than we thought. What did you think?
Yeah, it was a great stage. Landa tried from way out. That was probably a big part of how it unfolded. And so, alarm bells start ringing 100 kilometers from the finish.
Yeah.
You're in for a good stage. And so everything started disintegrating on the last climb. But it still wasn't as decisive, because the final descent wasn't that technical and the last climb wasn't that hard. And it was still a long ways to the finish. So things came back together again. And very little change in the GC except for Quintana having some problems and moving down to ninth. But thrilling stage, and it's hard to get the peloton to do that every day in the mountains, because there'd be nobody left. But today was a good one for sure.
Bob, we were going to talk about this later, but let's talk about it right now, because George was texting with Christian in the final there, and then we saw after the stage that Tom Dumoulin was complaining that Primus Roglic was getting quite a bit of help from the motos on that final downhill in the run into town. Did you catch any of that?
Yeah, I think I had to concur with Christian's assessment that Roglic made a little attack at the top, then he was on the moto all the way down the descent in every little corner. Even if you're not right on it, you do get a little bit of an advantage. And the problem is the guys chasing have to take incredible risks to close the gap down, and it's a no-win situation for the chasers.
Well, and I don't want to cast any sort of blame on Roglic, but just if you make the move and you're in the front,
right,
a cyclist can corner, most of the time, unless you're Cal Crutchlow, the cyclist can corner better than the motos. So the moto's there, you catch a little of the bumper, and as it accelerates away from you, you do get a draft. But it's not as if some rider's going to say, "Nah, I'm going to go to the side here." They're all going to do that.
Right.
We would, of course, you would do that. And if Tom Dumoulin makes the move and he's off the front on the downhill, he would have done the same. We all would. That's just what you do, and that's the advantage you get.
Yeah, it's not. Roglic can't be faulted for that, and just an unfortunate circumstance. And fast descent, and being on the moto was a big advantage today.
Yeah,
and it was great coverage watching it, so it was totally worth it for us the motos to be right there.
French had great handle on it today.
Yep.
Out of curiosity, Bob, looking back on this year's tour with all the cobbles and the grid start and the 65K stage, how would you say this tour was overall?
Yeah, they're trying to drag it into the modern era, and it's been successful in the Vuelta, especially. This type of exciting stages throughout the 3 weeks, and starting the mountains in the first week rather than after 10 days or so of racing. So, the tour doesn't really have to change because it's so popular, and they have they have a template that they like to stick to. But the innovative stages they did try were really successful and very dynamic and competitive. So I hope that they continue to move in a more modern direction.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
yesterday is a good example of a stage. We don't even need a stage like that. That could be 100 Ks, be the same result.
I know, but you can't. The tour used to be 2,500 miles, and it's gotten shorter. We can't keep making it. I mean, what are you going to have a 1,500 mile Tour de France? You can't do that either. You just the fans have to just know that these transition stages exist. They're boring, but gosh, that's
kind of gives some of us a chance to move on with our lives a little bit. Get some work done on those days.
Yeah, I slept in. Yesterday, Anna was like, "Don't you have to get up and go down and start watching?" I said, "No, I'm going to sleep a little more. I'm not missing anything."
Yeah, you could have given us a little heads up about that.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Bob. I think we're getting close to wrapping up with you, but final question for you, or one of the final questions, and this is a personal question. You mentioned on TV a couple times and on the beginning part of this call how that descent wasn't that technical, but then you also mentioned that Christian dropped you on that descent. Are you losing the Bubka skills that we all know and love you for as far as your descending goes, or what's going on there?
Coming down to Porte, I had a front flat a couple days ago.
Okay, did you crash?
Going 45 feet. So I was a little spooked today. I'll get my groove back. I'll get my mojo back.
Okay, we were getting worried about you.
As the we go back and forth between you guys and the Aussie feed, and Zacharin had a little lock up there on the rear wheel on one of the downhills, and one of the guys says that took a couple bites of the cherry to get through there. So when your front tire blows out, man, you were biting the cherry.
Yes, I was gripped.
Just for grins, Bob, last year when the tour started and we turned on our televisions, we were all like, whoa, what the hell has Bob Roll been doing? You got fit. What have you been doing?
I had 4 root canals. The week before the tour, I lost like 10 pounds.
No, you were bringing...
I put on like 5 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, you were bringing some guns to the gun show.
Yeah, I was like, somebody please bring Bob Roll a double cheeseburger.
Funny you should say, I had 2 cheeseburgers for lunch today. So.
All right, hey dude, thanks for calling in, man. You guys are crushing, by the way. It seems like you've been a little like the gloves are off a little bit this summer with you. I love that style. Just call it the way you see it, bro.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, and you can come over here to the Move sometime. You can drop some F-bombs.
Oh, I would love to do that. Baby. That's my dream.
All right, bro.
All right, Bob. Thank you.
Take care. All right.
Any more thoughts from you guys on tomorrow?
Other than it's very, very technical, there is a steep little hill at the end, which I don't think any of this matters for all the stuff we've been talking about with regards to who leapfrogs who, but it's not going to feel good. The last, there's a 1 kilometer section at over 10% just before the finish. But
do you agree?
The last thing I will say is, yes, Geraint Thomas is going to win the Tour, but he just has to stay on his bike. I mean, if you're him, you have to ride very conservatively, stay within yourself, obviously, but corners, mechanicals, you just can't. Every shift he has to think about. They just can't make a stupid mistake because, as we all know, you don't win until you cross the finish line in Paris. So it does matter.
Who's your? Do you think one of the top 3 guys in the GC will win the time trial, or perhaps a time trial specialist that's been in the Gruppetto for the last 2 or 10 days?
Might surprise us all, right?
Yeah, I mean, these guys have been racing their butts off for, a week straight. Well, it'll be interesting to see how their times are affected tomorrow. And some guy that's been sitting in the Gruppetto saving for this day, I don't know who that would be, but it could be very interesting to see.
That's not going to happen.
Not going to happen? Mm-mm. Too much on the line?
No. I think Roglic is going to win tomorrow.
That's the whole thing?
Yeah. No, he's going to win the time trial.
No, I mean the time trial.
Correct.
Yeah.
George agrees.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, when is the last time you two, Lance and George, were on a TT bike, fully geared up?
Ooh.
in a race?
God, it's been a long time. I don't ever want to get on a time bike. I mean, I in 2012, I was on a TT bike when I was doing tries, but I have no interest at all in ever being on a time trial bike again.
Yeah, they're super uncomfortable. My last time was my buddy Mark Alawesco challenged me to an Olympic distance triathlon down in Nassau. So that was in 2013. That was my last time on.
Who won? He smoked you in the swim.
He smoked me in the swim. I smoked him on the bike, and then I stayed away from him on the run. Longest run of my life, 10K.
Ooh. You know, someone asked, I don't have their name in front of me, I apologize, that if, given your ability over the years, did you ever consider tries after retiring?
No. Although I enjoyed getting ready for that one. It was super fun. I love we have a lot of...
This some bitch can't drink water, much less swim.
Exactly. I never considered it. It was fun doing the one. I checked that off my bucket list, and it's one and done for me.
Hey, something you might want to check out today. Really good listen. I was impressed. Lance did an interview with a really wildly popular podcast that I love. It's one of my favorites. It's called Freakonomics.
That's right. I almost forgot that.
And
I got a lot of comments about it. A lot of emails, texts, a lot of feedback on social media. It was, if you guys have, it's a long one. It's more than an hour, so you got to give it some time.
It's really good.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it, and I didn't hold back.
No, you tell a story at the end that's starting to spread. You had mentioned it one time quickly last year, but an incident that you had in Denver with some fans, and I don't want to give it away. Yeah. Until you maybe get a chance. Maybe we'll tell it later on the show, but really good story.
It's the only time that's happened, and I expected post Oprah, 5 years ago, I expected that. What happened there in Denver at that cafe, I expected that to happen every day, and it took 5 years for it to finally happen. And you can go listen to the show on Freakonomics. It's pretty wild. But
PB writes from Houston. People often say that the Tour is a bigger event. The Giro is often more exciting. What is different about the Giro stages route that makes attacks more common and the event more exciting? Do you even agree with the assessment that the Giro race-wise is a bit more exciting?
Well,
what's different about
Tom Dumoulin, who's made that his biggest priority for the years over the last couple of years, said 3 or 4 days ago, which I don't disagree with, but it's a bold statement. He said the Giro's much harder than the Tour. I mean, the climbs are different. They're much steeper. There's more of them. The finishes, which I don't support, are very, very hairy. So the nerves involved in the Giro I'd only done it once, and it was very, very hard. But if you start talking about climbs like the Mortirolo, and the Mortirolo, if you ever want to go do, that is the hardest climb I have ever done. The Mortirolo.
I've never done it.
Oh, it's straight up. It's the width of a golf cart path. And very, they just don't have those. They didn't build roads like that in France. The Ventoux is the hardest climb in the Tour, the hardest climb in France, but the Mortirolo is twice as hard as the Ventoux.
And the Giro doesn't seem to mind transfers before and after the races, which makes it really tough on the riders. Some days the riders are in the bus for as long as they race their bikes or longer. This year, for instance, there was in Israel. They don't mind transfers. They're all about the show.
Yeah. Just a couple more questions for you guys.
We got to go right. I have a good route picked out for today. Okay. I've been getting fitter. George has not been able to drop me. He tried to get away from me yesterday on a dirt road climb, and he couldn't.
Speaking of riding today,
he just couldn't.
Emery writes, I keep seeing tons of people on bikes around the Airstream out the back window during the pre-show. I was wondering, how many of these people are you guys going to ride with after the show? Anyone we know?
Listen.
That's from Emery.
Listen, and if the camera was facing the way that it should be or could be, you would see Pam Alexander sitting there. We basically crashed her driveway. All of these, Pam, this is like the
lean over this way, Pam,
meeting central here. This is... Pam every day it's like a Peloton here every day.
It really is.
Yeah. It's crazy. She's like...
Is it like that all the time or just when we're here?
No, all the time.
It's always a group of people to ride.
Actually, when there's snow on the ground, it also happens.
Even when there's snow on the ground. Yeah, it's a busy place. This is like the epicenter of cycling in Aspen.
Yeah.
Some rapid fire questions from JP, who's written in many times out of Toronto. This is for Lance and George, then I'll let you guys go. Chocolate chip or oatmeal cookies? These are a bunch of rapid fire questions.
Chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Early bird.
Ugliest team kit ever.
Carrera. Remember those jean? Like
I actually like those. The
yeah, I
jean
figured
shorts.
you'd like them. The
Those were
jorts. You got
baller.
you some jorts over there. What was ugly?
That's a tough one.
Best team kit ever.
Next.
Best music for grinding out a tough workout. I know what you're going to say. Maiden.
Maiden would work. By the way, well, I might say Rage Against the Machine. But I got a text message yesterday from my stepbrother. I did a DJ stint with Ozzy's Boneyard on Sirius XM, and I did it like a year ago. It was when I was up there doing Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And so I got an hour on Ozzy's Boneyard to play whatever I wanted, just channel my inner Plano
You
and
were
IROC Z
16,
and Z
17 again?
Cavaricci and Zodiac Shoes. And so they played it again yesterday.
Oh, they
I was
replayed
like,
that
"It's the
show.
fucking greatest day ever."
Was your phone blowing up? People are like,
And I got one text about it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people listen to Ozzy's Boneyard. But they
anytime-
wanted me to DJ for like classic vinyl or something. So I made my list. I sent it over to them, and they were like, "Ooh, this probably ought to be on Ozzy's Boneyard."
Anytime you have dinner at Lance's now, he's bumping Post Malone. So
Oh,
I think
man,
that's
I'm
the
all
latest
about
and greatest
Post.
here.
All about Post Malone. I took my daughter to a Post Malone concert like a year ago.
yeah.
I was like, "Who the fuck is Post Malone?" She plays it. I was like, "Ugh." So I go to the show. This has nothing to do with Homeboy's random rapid fire questions.
That's
but
right.
we go to the show. I dropped her off, had a dinner, and then caught up with like the last 5 songs. And this kid, Post Malone, is a genius. Every night he sits down with an acoustic guitar, covers somebody. So you can go on YouTube and see him covering a lot of things. That night he covered "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana, and it was perfect.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, check. And then just in the category of dopest dad ever, when the show is done and this huge motherfucker walks out and he's like, "Yo, I'm post security. He'd like to say hi." So I take my daughter and her friends backstage there in Austin. I was like the coolest dad ever. They got pictures and
That's awesome.
yeah. That never happened to you, did it, George?
Nope, did not.
I can't believe how many big acts come through the small town of Aspen.
No, because we have the Belly Up. The Belly Up's a
I
killer
know.
venue.
I was looking at it just in August. Sleigh Bells, The Kills, Matt and Kim, Nathaniel Ratliff,
Are you going to start with the killer acts? What next? Counting Crows?
Rodrigo,
Lumineers?
Gabriella,
No,
Chromeo.
that's a killer act.
I mean, you guys get some good
You roll
shows
some
here.
Blues Traveler up in here?
Yeah. Hey, send your comments in. We only have 2 shows remaining.
I know.
One on the road to
One
Albuquerque
in
with our
Albuquerque.
winners.
Can't wait.
And you can send those for tomorrow's show in particular about the time trial, the individual time trial. Any comments, questions, anything you want to do, the move at wedo.team.